What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I'm Anthony. On today's video, I got a very requested video, one that a lot of my family and friends have been begging me to make, so I'm going to go ahead and make it. Today I want to show you my recipe for chocolate chip pancakes. Stay tuned. That's right, today we're going to be making chocolate chip pancakes. This video has been highly requested. I want to make sure I show y'all on the channel how I do it because, again, I've been getting a lot of questions about it. So this is one of those recipes that I literally make once a week. I've been making this recipe every single week since my kid was under the age of 1. Basically, whenever she could start eating solid foods, all right? It's one of those things where she has grown up now, since she's almost 3, grown up with it, so she almost expects it at least once a weekend. So she knows either Saturday or Sunday, Dad's gonna make chocolate chip pancakes. And that's kind of something I wanted to do because I wanted my daughter to at least have something to look forward to. And it's just like, it's a really good meal that she knows that is going to happen. All right, I don't want it to be one of those things that falls out of favor. She hasn't gotten tired of it, surprisingly. I haven't gotten tired of it either. And it's just something that I know she looks forward to. So I wanted to bring it to you on the channel because not a lot of people know how to make things from scratch anymore. So I wanted to go ahead and put that out there. Okay, first you're going to need 2 bowls, one for your wet ingredients and one for your dry ingredients. Then we're going to start with the dry. We're going to do 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and then about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Then about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, you notice I don't measure, and about 1 tablespoon of sugar. Then you're going to whisk it all together and set it aside. Now on to the wet ingredients. First you're going to do 1/4 stick of butter and you're going to soften it up. To that softened butter you're going to add 2 eggs. Now you're going to take those 2 eggs and butter and you are going to whisk them together. When it's nice and mixed, you're going to add in your buttermilk, all right? This is just regular buttermilk that you buy. If you make your own buttermilk, that's fine. You could also do milk with vinegar to make buttermilk. All those ways work. Then you're just going to mix it all together till it's one even color. Then you're going to add the wet to the dry, not the other way around. You definitely don't want to add the dry to the wet because it's going to get very messy. So wet to the dry. Then comes the important part of stirring. You don't want to go hardcore and beat this because it's going to become flat. So you want to try to keep as much air as you can. So you're just basically going to fold it together. This particular batch ended up being a little too thick, so I wanted to make sure I added some water to it to thin it out just a little bit. Then you're just going to take and put in your chocolate chips. Again, I don't measure. This looks to be about 1/2 cup. And then again, we are going to fold those in. Once you get nice and incorporated and even, there's no more dry spots, you're done. Alright, so now it's time to start cooking. You are going to get your pan. I use a stainless steel because I prefer it. Stainless steel has a little sticking problem, so you want to make sure you preheat this thing, alright? When you're using stainless steel, if you put water in it and it quickly evaporates like that, you're not ready. The water has to bead. When it beads and dances around, bam, now you're ready. When you do that, you're going to want to add your oil, your cooking fat. All right, I use bacon fat. That's why I keep a jar of it next to the stove for this purpose. You're going to roll it around there so coat it in the bottom of the pan. It's the only time you're going to use this. I use a 1/2 cup scooper, and that's when I first start putting in my batter. As you can tell, the batter is very thick with this batch, so this is always what I tell people. The first pancake is the mess-up pancake, all right? It's the one for the chef because it's the one that you gauge how good your batter is. Mine is a little too thick, so I thinned it out for this next one. As you can see, it is a lot thinner, and it spreads out a little bit more evenly, so that's why I want it, and it's a little bit easier to flip as well, see? So thin them out as you need. If you like them even thinner, you can even always add more water. And this is a little time lapse to show how much it expands during cooking. All right, so this is what, 10 seconds, so a minute put on into 10 seconds. You see how big it grew, and then you're just gonna go ahead and flip it and finish her out. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get some questions about how I know when to flip it. Now, there are many ways to tell. Some people look at the top. They look for these little bubbles that appear and maybe disappear. For me, it's all about experience. All right, I have a little clock in my head that knows, hey, if I have the stove turned at this temperature, it's probably going to cook within this amount of time. So this is just one of those things with experience. You're going to know just from doing it so many times when to actually flip it. Now, when you know it's done is once you do flip it, you're going to want to look around the edges. And you see right there how it's still like fresh batter. You want to make sure all around the edges there is no more fresh batter, because once it's all cooked around the edges, there's a really good chance that middle is cooked as well. It should look something like this. When it looks like that all around the edges, you know you're done and you can go ahead and scoop it. All right, I put that on my kid's plate. As you can tell, it's a Winnie the Pooh plate. I wanted to show y'all how thick and fluffy these pancakes actually are. See, That's why I do it this way. That's why I keep the batter as thick as I do, because I like thick pancakes. Now be honest, how'd that look? Look pretty good, right? Trust me, they taste amazing. This is one of those recipes I wanted to make sure I throw on the channel because I wanted people to understand and be able to see it's not very difficult to cook from scratch. I know a lot of people out there have problems cooking from things that aren't from boxes, and I want to try to take that back, and we can go back to the bare bones of how things used to be in this country, making things from ingredients, all right? I don't like making things from boxes. If I can make it from ingredients, I'm absolutely going to do so. So that's why I wanted to put this video out there, and I also wanted to show you the importance of comfort cooking, comfort food for the family, especially for children, all right? If something happens, I know I'm a preparedness channel, I'm a self-reliance channel. Well, if something happens to, let's say, the power grid, something happens to whatever, and you don't really have that normalcy, well, by being able to make something that's comforting that the kids used to, then it's only going to give them that little bit of normalcy they've been longing for, all right? Kids are very resilient, but if you can give them something comforting, just even a meal, then that's going to be worlds of difference to them, and that's why I wanted to put it on my channel. So this video is going to be there, it's going to be on the channel, it's going to be down here in the cooking from scratch section. I'll go ahead and post that playlist down below so you can always find it, all right? But if that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. If you like this video at all, please do me a humongous favor and give this video a thumbs up. I very much appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you are not, and I will catch y'all on the next one, all right? Bye.